Yes, it is time for AfroEconomics Live, y'all. We're talking mortgages, all sorts of stuff tonight. Yes. Mm-mm. Yes. Mortgages, Miss Davis, interest rates, all these changes going on. I want to start. I want to start with something real interesting. Oh, wow. I got it. Every on every side. I love it. I love it. Yes, I do. Hear myself twice. I think I'll just shut that down. So many computers going. It's so good to see y'all. How you doing, Reverend Bozeman? How's everybody doing? I'm going to make sure that I put these chats up because I really want us to talk. Yes, I do, Suzette. Yes, I do, Miss Davis. I want us to talk. I want us to look at something I'm going to share. I'm going to start by sharing something regarding mortgages, and we need to talk. Okay, here we go. Now, let's start. Let's see some exciting stuff. Let's go. I'm going to share this. Boom. Yes. I might do this so we can see it a little bit bigger. All right. This is an interview that I think will help us, open up our discussion about mortgages and then also about taking mortgages seriously. And the things that technology now allow us to have access to that, previous years you could do some things that maybe they wouldn't be able to check, but now they can track everything. So I'm gonna start this kind of around and here. Al Sharpton kind of turns it over. Let's see.
And I just want to be clear that you, to my knowledge, have not lobbied. I know you didn't lobby me and anyone in NAN. But your lawyers are asking for probation rather than prison time in this case. They say your offenses amount to personal misconduct. Prosecutors argue you abused emergency law meant to help people suffering financial hardship during a pandemic when you yourself were healthy and employed. What's your response to the pleas around your
So first and foremost, I'm incredibly, as you've already indicated, I'm grateful and humbled by the support of the community, and especially from you, Reverend Al Sharpton, and the National Action Network, the 13 other national civil rights organizations, as you've already indicated, National Urban League, Fair and Just Prosecution, Color of Change, and NAACP. It means the world to me to have the support of the community. My hope is that President Biden and Vice President Harris are listening. It's my honor to show up. It was my honor to show up for them, and I need them to show up for me. What I'm facing.
I think that's amazing that her voice is like that. It's such a sweet, sweet voice. It's just sweet. That is just the sweetest, sweetest voice. I don't know. This woman used to be in the courtroom, like throwing people into jail. That is like the sweetest lawyer voice I've ever heard in my life. Girl, you are sweet and you are pretty and beautiful, and she is the sweetest little voice. I would love to go find some footage on how she handled herself in the courtroom. And I do not want that voice to be not one octave different. I want it to be very, very sweet, just like that. When you're locking them up, oh my goodness, locking up people's little kids. It's just like, you're guilty. You are guilty of that. I can't believe you did that. All right, I'm just saying, there's a pretty voice.
Reverend Bozeman.
Right now, Reverend Al, and you get this more than anything else, that I'm being penalized. I'm being penalized for fighting for justice. I've done nothing wrong. I've done nothing illegal and nothing criminal. My actions were entirely legal and above the board. And as you've already indicated, they're asking for 20 months, but the judge has the discretion of going above the sentencing guidelines or below them. And I'm facing 40 years in prison for simply withdrawing my own retirement savings to buy property, not obtaining PPP loans, not accessing COVID funding, accessing my own retirement
than
savings.
everybody else.
And so this is an act that 739 people in the city of Baltimore did. This is the same provision that 35,000 people nationally have done. And yet
She's saying that 700, did she say like 800 people in Baltimore had to take money out of their retirement because of a financial crisis, right? And it's proven that she made more money that year than she'd ever made in her life. So you're saying that everybody in Baltimore, those other 800 people in Baltimore, made more money that year than they made in their life? Or did they actually do it because the government allowed them to take it out because they needed it? See, that kind of stuff is mean. I did the same thing. How are our people ever going to know right from wrong? Like, and she would sit there and say that, let's just say, somebody that steals something from the grocery store, or whatever, takes some formula, and the owner of the store says, "I'm sick of this. I'm sick of them taking stuff from my store," And she's the kind of person that locks that person up. And that person said, "But I just needed Similac because my baby had no food." Well, I'm sorry. We're going to put your kid in foster care and you're going to jail. Because this is the third time we caught you stealing or whatever. The first time. You selling weed on the corner. Lock them up. You go so and so. Why? How in the world do we get to choose? And then why would you? I can imagine how many people who come in there and say, "I'm just doing the same thing that 700 other people in Baltimore are doing," and that's a justification. Al Sharpton should be like, hold on. But we're not. What? He said that all of these civil rights leaders are backing her.
The only person in America that has been targeted, prosecuted, and now convicted under this provision, which clearly is unjust and has everything to do with my policies and my fight against the status quo in this country.
Now, what caught my eye is, as President Donald Trump, he denigrated Baltimore while you were the state attorney. You vowed to prosecute any federal agents who arrested Baltimore citizens during the protest of George Floyd's murder. You were investigated by the Justice Department shortly after. Where, in your view, does that fit into what has happened to you since?
Well, I think it does fit into that. I think, I was one of the first prosecutors in this country to attempt to hold police officers accountable for the death of a Black man. You got to think about that. When I did it, then President Trump said I needed to prosecute myself. After the police department sabotaged those cases, I learned my lessons, and we subsequently prosecuted and convicted 33 police officers after that case. When rogue police officers were planting guns and drugs on citizens for decades, my office was on the drafted, lobbied, and passed legislation to vacate the convictions of over 800 people impacted by those police officers. I had the first conviction integrity unit in the entire state of Maryland, where we exonerated 13 innocent Black men who collectively served 300 years in prison for crimes they didn't commit.
Okay.
The progressive policies were put into place under my office goes on. And it was very much clear. Donald Trump made it clear. Bill Barr at the National Sheriff's Association, when he referred to Baltimore and those rogue social justice prosecutors, that we will do anything within our power to ensure the rule of law.
What exactly does it have to do with the fraud? All of these. So So this fact that you broke the law negates all of that? No. Nobody feels that way. Nobody at all feels that way. Who turned you in? We don't know. But don't include all of that into this. You were doing your job and you got paid absolutely every day for doing that. Every day. Every day you got paid. And those people that you say you released because they hadn't committed a crime, that's the point. They had not committed a crime. I don't understand.
Stays into place. He said as much. Former Governor Larry Hogan, when he threatened to defund my office, he said as much. And so those individuals that, are far removed from the situation, who don't understand why the federal government would come after me, this is why.
Now, Trump has been particularly hostile in his public comments toward black women prosecutors, like Fannie Willis.
Somebody needs to tell him Trump is not the president of the United States. This just aired the other day, y'all. And they talking about Trump like he's the president of the United States. This man is not the president of the United States. He did not make these laws that she broke. How in the world can we go all the way over there? Anything can happen. You get acne, you get a pimple. Everything is Trump's fault.
Like Tish James in New York and yourself. What do you attribute this to?
She's answering why does Trump hate black women? That's what that he just said. That Trump has an issue. Look, Trump has an issue with black women.
Are far removed from the situation, who don't understand why the federal government would come after me. This is why.
Now, Trump has been particularly hostile in his public comments toward black women prosecutors, like Fannie Willis, like Tish.
It's only because they put black women up against him. And they choose to do that. They choose to do that. Whoever is in that seat is going to be attacked.
James in New York and yourself. What do you attribute this to?
Doing your job.
He said it was very clear. Anybody that comes, whether any jurisdiction or any individual politician, the United States government will come after if they affect or impact the rule of law. And so it's not just Bonnie Willis and Tish James. It's me, it's Kim Gardner, it's Aramis Ayala, it's Monique Worrell, it's Rachel Roberts, it's all of us. And if we don't stand for what's happening, I can tell you, the 2 months after, then President Trump was in Oregon, placing people, his federal agents, kidnapping people, Larry Kraft.
This makes very, 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 very good TV. But really, the point is, why did you take out the money that was against the law for you to take out? It was not sanctioned for people doing better. Plus, you filled out a fraudulent mortgage application. The point of our discussion tonight. Now, you turn in all like you committed fraud on the mortgage application. And now this is the federal government. The federal government is coming after you via your mortgage application. That this is a hunt. Like, did they talk you into buying stuff that you had to take money out of your retirement to afford while you still owed back federal taxes? So if anybody was coming after you, it was the Internal Revenue Service, because you took the money out and bought something else with it instead of paying off your existing bills. We're going to call this like a Fannie Willis syndrome. Now you got the syndrome. We are not supposed to do that. Like, if you're going to go down about spending your money so that you can avoid penalty, why would you not, Reverend Bosley, just tell me, why would you not just pay off your taxes first?
Okay, JB, I'm sorry, Reverend Bozeman, she paid any of the money back?
What money?
Was she in process of paying back any of the tax money?
Oh, that was her husband's problem. Remember? She said, I'm trying to get these properties so I can get away from this marriage because he's not handling our finances right. And he so graciously, even though he's on city council, he said, yeah, it's my fault. He's trying to keep his baby mama out of jail. They're not married no more. But he don't want his kid's mom to go to jail. He said, yeah, it's my fault. I wasn't running. I wasn't managing the money. But she makes like 3 times what he makes. And this black man stepped up. And then she put on the mortgage app that he was giving her money. But you know, in this country, they can see everything we do. So in the court, what they gave the jury, that's why she was found guilty, is because she gave the money to her husband to give back to her.
Give back to her?
Yes,
Oh.
this is against the law. It is against the law. It doesn't matter if that mortgage loan officer tells us, oh, go ahead. Yeah, do this. Get your grandma to send you the money and then you give it back to your grandma, you know? That it doesn't matter. They're just trying to make money, just like her mortgage officer. She said the loan officer told me that I was doing, but that's what I'm doing the right thing. You're the lawyer. What is the use of you going to law school if you don't understand you don't break the law? What about that you knew? Exactly. I mean, that is so ugly. When you see someone that could be the president of the United States one day is doing this kind of stuff, little teeny shit, over 5 grand. This is 5 grand. They don't even want to. They didn't want to. I'm telling you, the jury did not want to find her guilty. But how the hell could you do something so obvious that they could just track it? Well, you gave that to him and then he gave that back to you. Damn, you a criminal.
Wait a minute,
Well,
5 grand is all she owed in taxes?
No, we don't know how about that. There's much more than that, probably. I don't know. It's still like they broke up. Like they got a divorce because she didn't want no parts of it. But divorce doesn't stop you from still owing, half of those taxes.
Mm-hmm.
Some people think, well, what she thought, I can get out of this. Yeah, yeah. See, she threw out that 40 on you, Melinda. She threw out that 40 when nobody in this world is ever going to give her little pretty butt 40 years. Never. If she was an ugly black man, she'd get it. She's an ugly black man who's outside just fighting for the rights of Pakistan or something, or the Gaza Strip or something. He's going to jail. Do you know how many people they got locked up for doing that outside their school? Is anybody standing up for them? And they're young and they don't have a law degree. Nobody cares. Nobody cares. I was out there in a shanty at University of Virginia on the lawn, and if the police had come and arrested me, I'd have a record. God forbid. But she can't get that. She's gonna be out there, you know better. So in reality, in a country that really cared about the truth, in a country that really cared about the damn truth, they would give her whatever it's supposed to get. They give her the top of it because you know more than anyone else, like the word says. If you are like a minister or you're someone you know, you know better, you're gonna get it. And what makes it so sad is that when we get into a position to do something, like say they find Trump guilty for something, the first thing they're gonna say, they ain't gonna say, well, damn, the man's almost 80. That's not right. Oh, that's not right. They're not gonna do that at all. Put him in jail. He's not gonna have his hair gel. Don't put him in. No, you're gonna be trying to give him the maximum. 40 years is not a justifiable sentence. So that I have this type of energy against Trump. What does her illegal activity have to do with Trump? Trump got his own issues, but they do that, Melinda, to control your mind, to keep you enslaved. As long as they can keep us enslaved, that pretty black people with degrees that do wrong don't have to go to jail, ain't nothing going to change. Nothing. That goes back to the beginning of freaking time. Oh, look at this one. Why? No, no, no. Oh, thank you, Miss Grant. This one. Why are you so angry with her? Does she not deserve mercy? Don't you love that one? Yes, she does. And I forgive her 100%. It absolutely doesn't matter to me at all. But what it matters to is to all of this world that we learn right from wrong, especially when we're leaders. And if I was stealing, God forbid, if I were stealing, you know how many millions of dollars I have access to? You realize the whole time that Joe Biden was working, this gentleman on the line, he had to make choices. The whole time the Reverend Bozeman was working, he had to make choices.
So, so she committed this.
Mortgage
Yeah. She,
application fraud. Yes, a lot. Like just it's blatantly wrong. Just
and the
blatant.
problem is that all these civil rights organizations are coming to her
Yo, it's
defense
not a
because,
problem. They don't have nothing else to do. You know, they're not going out there to help that black airman that just got shot.
yeah.
They're not trying to help. You know what I'm saying? Nobody. They're not trying to help. AfroEconomics does free workshops for our community. You know what I'm saying? On doing things righteously. Nah, they
So
ain't got
she's
time.
taking it. She's playing the race card.
Oh yes, she's playing a huge card. Like she went against the police. She said it's the police that are after her. She said that it's Trump that's after her. She said all of this, but you lied.
Yeah.
It'd be different if you didn't do anything wrong, like and you can prove. Do you know how many black people did not? As she said, there were people in Baltimore that they did, locked up for doing nothing wrong. And she let them go. So she said, so in return for that, Joe Biden should pardon me. Pardon me. When you got people in this United States of America that went to jail because they married a white woman and they went to jail or they kissed a white woman. Or you got people like Emmett Till that got killed because a white woman said something about him, said he looked at her or whatever. But we're, saying that the president of the United States should pardon her from her couple of months that she gonna get in prison. This deserves all the civil rights groups that I'll start to say that backing her. No, we're gonna look at it just a little bit more. We're gonna try, but it's not personal. It's only personal in the effect that I love our people. And I'm a back her. I ain't gonna let nobody do nothing wrong to her. I'm telling you, I would give my life for this woman. I would give my life for this woman as I would give my life for any of you. But when you're wrong, I got your back too. But when you're wrong, all I need you to do is say, I was wrong. Y'all have heard me when I've said I'm wrong. I've been wrong about some things. But
See,
nothing will
JB,
change unless I accept my wrongness and make the world a better place from the lesson that I learned from that. Damn, I fucked up. What do I got to take on? You know what I'm saying? What? Be responsible. That's part of being a leader, being accountable, accept the responsibility.
okay, but aside from
Terrifying seeing this.
the the civil rights organizations that are standing up for her,
Yes,
there are other people because the courtroom, I understand, was
yes,
extremely filled with
yes.
just
But
regular
did you hear what
citizens.
she just said? This is Trump. This is the police. It's like Fannie Willis talking about. They gave me death threats. You know what I'm saying? I got death threats. Don't nobody care. I posted a video about how good black men were, and then I got a death threat on my life for backing up our community. Did not one civil rights group care about me living? They ain't gonna be the last. You know what? The Fannie Lou Hammer beat almost to death for the right to vote, so that these sisters would get a chance. Beat almost to death, so that these sisters would get a chance, and I know they wouldn't like her. If Fannie Lou Hammer had done something like this, because she's dark, black, fat, don't have a weave, nobody would be backing her. And you can tell me that I'm wrong. You can say that I'm wrong, but I'm gonna tell you, I see blatant discrimination within our community that continues to happen. You know, because they got a certain job, or they got a certain look, or they got a certain voice. She is good. This girl is good. But we have to stop so that she don't have to fake. She don't have to fake. We need to come legit, be who we are. You know what I'm saying? Speak your own voice, wear your own hair, do what you do, keep true to your people. And then she wouldn't have no money problems. Because her whole way of being would be elevated above all of this that she felt was important in order to lie on the application when you already got homes. And you're caught in this lie over materialism. That's what our people need to be learning.
Right.
My God, it would be beautiful if she was doing session on, I got caught up in the materialism and destroyed my life, my career, my family, their marriage broke up, all of this over that. A lie. And I keep seeing it over and over. And we think it's funny, and civil rights groups come out because what they want to be relevant, they want to have exposure. They don't care about her like I care about her. I want her to live. I want her to live and not die. But if it requires for her to live and get her life back, for her to be humbled and go in there and take it out and be true to herself and her people, and if it takes going to jail to do it, then we got to do it. But I'm going to tell you, some of the most humbling experiences of my life have developed my character. And maybe the person will say, what y'all can say, if somebody says, JB did such and such, you can say, hell fucking no. Put the numbers in there. Check it out. No, I know her. I'll stand behind her. I know. Then when they accuse you of stuff, the numbers ain't going to go to you giving your husband money to your husband giving you money back. Your ex at that.
Okay. I see what you're saying.
I
So
don't want
she
y'all to
is
concede. I don't want y'all to concede. I
she's
just feel like
doing wrong, and then when she gets caught, she wants to pull the race card.
it's bigger than the race card, though. She never really said it's because I'm black. She said it's because I locked up policemen. And then so you're blaming it on the police now. And she's like, yeah, and it's Trump, and he's not even in the federal government now. So who are these people, these Trump people that are leading the federal government that want to see you get 40 years that you'll never get? She probably won't even get 40 days. It won't change anything, because our conversation about this is all way off track. Our conversation is off. Do you hear me, feel me, Mr. Johnson? Please, you say your first word. I need to hear it.
Can you hear me?
Yes. Yes. Great.
Now, what was your question again?
Do you feel my point that she should not be holding this against the police that she locked up? That I don't see this as a connection to a political issue from the police and the federal government and this and that. It's a political issue in that you're holding political office. And when you're holding political office, they want you out. You always have an opponent. You always have an opponent. There's always somebody looking at you. You're in a voted in position.
Like you said earlier, she's not taking personal responsibility, and
Not at all.
she's mixing the conversation. What she did in office has nothing to do with her negligence in her own personal finances. She
Right.
lied.
Exactly. Period. Well, you went in there, and then she wanted to blame it on her accountant. That the accountant said, "Yeah, take it out, even though you're not having a financial crisis. Yeah, take it out." That's sad because I don't know if y'all know what it is to be a lawyer, but lawyers read contracts. Lawyers read things.
All the time.
It was a simple form I don't know what kind of lawyer that wants to continue to have their license would sign something that says I'm lying, because y'all know exactly what I get paid. But like she said, I did it because everybody else is doing it. 700 other people in Baltimore did it, which was a very misleading statement because they did it, but they doesn't mean they did what you did. You lied. They might have filled out the form and needed to have a retirement distribution because of their financial situation due to COVID, but it just wasn't applicable to you. So just because 700, 900, a million other people did it doesn't mean they were lying also. Y'all feel me on this?
Yeah.
We cannot do what everyone else is doing. And she said, I didn't get a PPP loan. You're not even a business owner. You know what I'm saying? Like, what exactly would qualify you for payroll? It was like payroll replacement money. It was like, you know what I'm saying? It was money that you had to prove. Now, that would have been on a whole another fraudulent issue because if you did make up a payroll, you would have gotten jail for that. You would have got, and there were a whole bunch of people locked up for that. A whole bunch of people. But
So I think what
they just don't look the part. They're not in a position to get public support. They just locked them up for
I
doing
think
what
what
she
we're
did. She said nobody else got in trouble for doing stuff I did, doing what I did. She said nobody in the whole world ever got in trouble for doing what I did. I don't know what she did she was referring to. Maybe for getting their spouse to take money. Because remember, she's a lawyer, so she can say statements like that. And then you say, what are you talking about? There's a whole bunch of other people that took out money for that. There's a whole bunch of other people who got mortgage. But no, what I'm talking about is that my husband, you know what I'm saying? Like it could be any of the 10, it could just be any of them, any of it. That's what's so scary about it. Like Warren Buffett says, it's okay when a dumb person, when a dumb person, you know, is a criminal,
thank you.
that's okay. He said, but when there's an intelligent person, if they're a criminal, now it's dangerous. And I don't think anybody like I don't know if people are like really listening to this, how dangerous she is.
I think what we're looking at here is that people who are in black people who are in leadership positions and are supposed to be helping to pull the race up
Amen.
need to be acting impeccably.
Amen.
And that's the problem, is that they get into these positions of power and too many of them are not acting as impeccably. They're trying to be just like the white scoundrels and get away with stuff, but knowing that if they get caught, it's going to be even more severe
Exactly.
on them.
Exactly. And not, you know, and you say that and with all love too, you know, there's a whole bunch, there's more white people that aren't scoundrels than there are white people that are, I would argue.
I agree.
You know, right?
Yeah.
So when we say that, we're not saying they all, okay? Don't quote, like he's not saying
No,
that.
I'm
He's
not
just
saying
saying
that they are.
that there's some people in that community that do wrong, and we pull them out as if that means, you know, oh well, these bad cops that I arrested, you know, they're the most powerful cops in all the world. They went to jail. They went to jail. Obviously, they did not matter because the cops that mattered are not in jail.
So what they are they're trying to serve as examples to us, but they're not serving as good examples because they're trying to get away with hinky stuff that is actually bringing us down because it's giving our children the wrong impression about how to behave when you get in a
Amen.
position of power.
Amen. And when you're in a position of power, unfortunately, we don't realize that we're in the position of power and you need to take responsibility for that. And when I say that, it makes us like uncomfortable that I'm expecting them. Like, you know, and I'm glad that everyone can receive it from you, like that we should expect better. But when I say it, they go, well, everybody could do wrong. Like, you know, I just really feel bad. Like, you know, I mean, I could do that. Like, no, you don't have to do that. Now, if you want to open yourself up to that, then that's true. You could do that, but you also could choose not to be that way. Like we think like there's some sort of like some sort of like, like this cloud that just comes over you and it just says, do something bad. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like you can fight that. You can fight that. Do something to show your inner demons, like just do it and just, but sometimes people just do something like that because they're tired. She could have just been tired of doing that, like just tired of her job. She just wanted a break, and they really just need to just when they're tired and they need a break, they should just get out of the job instead of trying to be forced out like that. Yes, Ms. Davis.
Okay, I play around with you, devil's advocate, from time to time just to
Mhm.
stir you up. But could it be maybe
Exactly, Ms.
she
Lewis.
she's maybe done something that didn't carry this same kind of weight, got by with it, got away with it. Nobody was paying attention, nobody said anything. Well, now here's another opportunity. I'll
That's
take
right.
advantage of that. Quite likely. And it's just like you just spiraling downward. You
Oh
just keep
yeah.
going.
Oh
You
yeah.
get away with the first thing and then you just keep on going.
That's right. Because you want her motivation was, I got to get away from my husband, and I'm setting it up a way to get out of this situation, according to her testimony. Like that she felt like he had mismanaged their finances at home and she needed to get away. And she wanted to kind of like start over. But, she also put on the mortgage app that she was going to use it for primary residence. So she would have to quit her job really to do that.
Because
No, like if you're buying an investment property, the lender is, was going to charge you a higher interest rate and going to give you a higher requirement on money down. But her thing was, I want to do these as investments, but I want to do the loan like I'm a living it.
now the
Um,
property was in Florida, correct?
That's right. Both. It's two, but she was only charged fraudulent on one. And and
In
that's the one
Florida.
they really could, prove because of the flow of the money from her to her husband and ex-husband, and then he flowed the money back. And they subpoena all the banking records. So and the lenders are very particular about having, a record of who gives you money. So he had to do a letter that said, I'm giving her this money. And then when she, this money for the for this loan. So, when it came up later that is fraudulent, they by looking at he gave her the money, but they saw a deposit from her. Am I making sense?
yeah,
Yeah.
Okay.
So it was her own money that he was giving back to her.
she was laundering the money through him.
True. And they're real particular about that. They're real particular about that. No, and I was just talking about to a young man that's about to train with the Secret Service, and I was talking about like how much my industry does a lot of continuing ed on money laundering. Like I have to do ethics continuing ed as a registered investment advisor every year now, and the overwhelming majority of it is on money laundering. And then if we catch it or if we're suspect, and how to report it, why we have to report it, everything. And so I can only imagine as an attorney, as one with the government, that you have a even higher level of compliance and training and continuing ed that's required on these types of things. And they know. But yes, Ms. Lewis is talking about it, and I was going to use that as an example that people who worked in corporate America at Philip Morris, um, probably about 20 years ago now, someone that was working just putting away files. discovered the same transaction happening over and over. And they were doing mortgages and using money from their own retirement account. And so with her, it's two different charges. No, so that's why she was saying I could get up to 40 years because she has a lot of different stuff going on. That issue of taking the money from the retirement plan and she didn't have the see, that's going to create a tax problem also because she's only 44ish. So she's not 59 and a half. So she didn't pay a 10% tax penalty. So if she took out 100,000, her and her husband created a $10,000 penalty, but she was trying to avoid that because they already owe taxes. So she took out, the money without paying that $10,000 penalty of being too young to take it out without a penalty. So, like, what they say, like, there's some major criminals who the only thing that they could get them for was tax fraud. But I don't think that she has a tax fraud case, but they're just doing it as a um fraudulently for because you lied about that you were having a financial hardship. And they put all of the people from Philip Morris, they gave them felonies. But these are average people. And like that's why I was saying when she said, oh, nobody has ever been charged from this, using their own money and this, and that's not true. And as an attorney, I know that that's just a smidgen away. She was see like that case that Philip Morris was so big that it's got to be in the law books. A whole bunch of people, and it was their own money, but they lied on the application. And now, to me, they should have been shown mercy because they don't have a law degree, don't have a law degree, don't have extensive education. You know what I mean? Anything, but they didn't show them no mercy, and all of them lost their job, their own money, and they weren't making nowhere near. She was making over $300,000. But why? Well, what? Like I said, how do we, as a community, think that it's okay that we can choose that certain people don't get charged because the way they look and what degrees they have and stuff like that, and then, but these other people, because they don't have these degrees and things like they should be handled that way. I mean, somebody needs to talk to Al Sharpton about that. Like, I mean, and if this lady was in my face right now, y'all know I would be saying the exact same thing. And everybody be like, oh my God, she's so jealous, because her hair nappy and she ain't got the, but and it's like, no, it's not at all. It's just, I just want us as a community to lift up past like being so hard on average people and expecting nothing from our extraordinary people. It just doesn't seem like that should make sense. That don't make sense. No, I mean, it's not even like in the system of law. If a person is expected to know more, like, that's why they make me do that continuing ed. Because if I do something wrong, they can say, no, we know because it was covered in that ethics class, da 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 da. Like, I'm held at a higher standard. Why would we think that she shouldn't? Like, if you know how many people's confidence in our leaders would be increased if we actually were giving leaders that did the wrong thing the appropriate punishment for what they did. Mm. But we don't. And we keep just letting it happen. You just keep, we just keep generation after generation. Oh, these people are good. These people are so good that when they're bad, they don't have to, you know what I'm saying? They're still good. because 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 this is the whole system is after them, but the system isn't after us. The rest of us like live under that, like we do think that the system is after us, and that's why we try our best to do right. I don't know. Yes, we need to stop this foolishness. Exactly. We're hurting our community. Exactly, Ms. Branch. We are. And we keep voting. We keep voting. But I just think like the majority of people, their votes, like it seems that it seems like they just kind of like they might be taking, and this would need to be investigated. They might be taking votes from certain zip codes and just throwing the stuff away. And they go, oh, this zip codes, we'll keep these people. But this one, we don't even need them. We don't care what they think.
I
That is
was trying to
sorry, it's frightening.
I was trying to record this like infomercial. Fani is running for her seat again, and
And
she's asking for votes. I can never catch it, but if I can, I'm sending it to you.
right. But I think that's great, that she's running again. But there's also a whole bunch of lawsuits against her, for things that she did, to people that look just like her.
Yeah, she may not.
Workers
I'm
and
sure
things.
this time is not going to be the same for her.
Mm,
I don't think so.
no, it's just sad. Like, that case that she was working, I don't know, the election will be over before they get to the end of that. It's just sad. So, that there are more and more lenders, that are not more and more banks, I should say, that aren't doing home mortgages anymore. No, I'm gonna and the reason that this is important is because this is a mortgage issue. So be very careful when
Krasner,
we
who's the
sign
Philadelphia
stuff.
district attorney, and I wrote an op-ed in the Washington Post, and we said, don't bring that to Baltimore. And literally the only person in America that has been charged under this provision when 35,000 other people have done.
Now, as we mentioned, I've spoken out in favor of a pardon in your case as head of National Action Network. But while the details of the case is complicated, the fact remains you were convicted by two separate juries. What's your response to those out there who will ask why your situation warrants special consideration like a pardon?
I think this case warrants special consideration because, as I've already indicated, this is a provision that the legal standard, which was not a hardship, a financial hardship, but an adverse financial consequence, has never been legally defined. And their government witness got up on the stand and said, all I needed to do was suffer a $50 adversity, which I did. And so in this particular case, we know, and I know for sure, I created the first conviction integrity unit in the entire state of Maryland, where we do reinvestigations into claims of actual innocence. I exonerated 13 innocent Black men that did not commit a crime. We know that people are wrongly convicted every day. And so that is the point in bringing this to the attention of the world and saying, hey, this is wrong. And more specifically to the president of the United States, who has the power and the authority to do something about this Trump Department of Justice investigation that was started under his administration.
Well, we're going to be following this. We respect the law, but the law needs to be used across the board equally. And those that do that should not in any way be treated any differently than anyone else, in my opinion. Marilyn Mosby, thank you for being with us this evening.
I mean, I agree with that totally.
JB,
Look,
that's a classic case of hubris and arrogance mixed.
exactly.
Do you hear me? Hubris and arrogance. She
I let
basically
these
said, look here,
innocent men
but
out.
everybody else did it, so why can't I get away
Exactly.
with it?
And we don't even know that to be true. Like and she's leaving out half of what she was charged. No, more than half of what she was charged with. She's not bringing up the mortgage application. She keeps going back to I took my own money out. Nobody's even thinking about that anymore. You're in charge about the mortgage application, and then you appealed it, and then they found you guilty on it again.
She's the top cop in Baltimore broke the law.
Amen.
She's the top cop in
It's so
Baltimore,
sad. I know.
not the chief of police. I'm talking about the attorney general.
And then to have both of these people, her and Fonnie Willis, both district attorneys, and both owing taxes is sad to me.
And both women, don't leave that out too.
Both women, both beautiful women,
With
and that's
with
really sad.
arrogance.
And arrogant, both of them very
Come on, man.
arrogant, very no, I'm not going to apologize for what I did wrong. That is so sad. Like, when
Yes.
in the world? Exactly, Miss Lewis, exactly. Deal. Yeah. It took it
Oh my
out
God.
wrongfully. We took out the mortgage applications. You took it out that you were going to actually live in it. How you going to be DA and live in it? Like, you're going to change your residence? You know,
JB,
Al
he's
Capone,
sitting on
exactly, Mr. Jeepers.
6 figures, right?
Yep.
6 figures, right?
No, three times six figures. So her salary was over 300,000.
And it wasn't enough.
It wasn't enough. And your husband's bringing in at least near 200. He was head, I don't know, he's head of the city council, but I know you're making a lot more than him. So if somebody's creating a tax penalty, most likely it was her. He
Man.
took the hit though. He took the hit. He said, I wasn't handling our finances right. It doesn't matter, man. She don't want you no more. She don't want you. Like but he took the hit. He said, I'm sorry, that he could like, no, you don't need to apologize. There, they see that she gave you the money.
But JB, he took the hit because he looking at I still have future aspirations. It's
Exactly.
not gonna
Oh,
look
oh,
good
say it
coming at
again.
her.
Yes, yes, yes. Because she got all of these civil rights groups are behind her. So, but she still doesn't like him though. It doesn't matter what he does. Like, she does not like him.
She married the
Beautiful
scoundrel.
couple. Beautiful couple. Exactly.
Two scoundrels, man.
I know. Like, I don't see it in him. Like, I see it. He seems very humble. Like, you know what I mean? Like, he's lost everything behind this. Everything.
JB, who gets a marriage in the middle of this? Who goes divorced in the middle of this?
Oh, I know. Her. He didn't.
Come on, man.
And she has the kids.
Come on, man.
I know. It's sad. It's sad.
And instead
And
of
he didn't
her,
know.
and
And
watch this, JB. She's talking about the judge. It ain't over. You out here
yeah,
talking about the judge. The judge is hearing you talk about them,
yeah,
her, or
yeah,
him.
yeah.
They gonna say, "Well, whoa, I'm not give
Exactly.
you leniency.
I know.
Why would I give you leniency? You calling me out like that?"
And why would you think the judges, even say that the judge said will give you 40 years? You know he wouldn't.
And instead of her being humble and
Yes.
just throwing her foot on the sport, I made a mistake.
Yes.
She's being downright.
Yes. But
Um,
downright Fonnie Willis. Remember that day with Fonnie? She walks up in the courtroom. I got this. You all sit down. I'm ready. And
man,
all she did was really hurt herself because they were like, we don't need you back tomorrow. She probably could have been on there 3 days if she had been humble. You know what I'm saying? And just, but she came out and she's, nah, you want to know this? What else you want to know? You know what? Matter of fact, you want to know this? You want to know this too? And I went on a shopping spree. After she told them I didn't pay my taxes, who does that?
somebody's defiant.
Look, girl. Yeah, okay. I guess
Oh
I
man,
do. Yeah, I owe taxes or whatever. You work for the municipal government. You work for the government. What in the world? How do these people think just because they buy a boss cat, that does not make you a boss? Just because you got a budget from the government don't make you no boss. Yeah.
JB, watch this. They're setting the precedent for the girls after them
That's
to
sad.
be defiant
That's just sad. They're gonna defy themselves right there, be in that
when they're
government.
wrong.
You're gonna be in that government job forever. You know what I'm saying? You're gonna be job right there. You know what I'm saying? And they're gonna keep demoting you, keep demoting you, keep demoting you, acting like Fonnie Willis. And that's just so sad. Even when she was like, she went to Morgan, I went to Howard. Like what? Like Howard is better than Morgan. You know what I'm saying? Like what in the world? Come on.
and neither one of them
The
paid it back.
girl, look, first of all, you were renting from Morgan. That's what the girl should have said. Look, she was renting. She was renting from me. You just think about Morgan owned it. Morgan owned the condo that she was renting from. Don't get it twisted. So I don't care where you went. You could have gone to Harvard. You're paying me rent. My girl should have tore her up. Look, I ain't worried about it because she's not in my condo no more. She is mad. That is sad. You're doing the wrong thing and won't just say, I was wrong. I don't know how that is so hard, but I know that for a lot of people, it is hard. So I say that on our mortgage night that don't fall victim of trying to get more than you actually can afford. According to, one issue I want to say is that there's a lot less lenders that are doing home mortgages because the defaults and late payments are much higher.
Mhm.
People are having a hard time paying their bills and keeping up with them. Many homeowners now have a lot of equity in their home, and their interest rate on the balance is so low that they don't want to sell, they don't want to move. So it's really been hard on the sales. Like you look at the home sales that are down. No, and a lot of that is because interest rates are up. People want to switch homes. We want access to that equity. We want that into the economy, you know. But they're sitting on it because they don't want these high interest rates. So inflation numbers came out today, made that inflation, is supposed to be slowing down. But
supposedly.
exactly,
Touching my pockets.
right? Why are so many people late on their credit card payments? Why are so many people late on their mortgage payment? Why are so many people, financially struggling? Why you have people making 300 something a year trying to take out money from their retirement accounts? You know, she said that she did show a $50 hardship. You know, but I'm gonna tell you, like some of the things that we have done in our community lately have not been, up to par. Like when it was proven that Fonnie Willis was paying the brother more than any of the other lawyers on staff. You know, I think that we want to start, thinking about when we get into a leadership position, will we be just like the oppressors?
Yes,
It's
because
sad.
we are literally the the monster that Dr. Frankenstein built.
It's
Literally,
so
we are
sad.
like we are white male dominant culture's greatest creation.
Oh my goodness. Isn't that sad?
Hard pill to swallow. You hear me?
Did y'all see me do that?
I loved it. That's true.
You said yes. I was like, "What?" Like this.
Do it
It's got
again.
this. It's got this little arrow next to you. Like I could like pop. Look
I
at
love.
that.
I see that. Yeah, I see.
I never noticed that. Look, how many years I've been using this thing. Like I'm like, wow. Look, we don't like. I want to do it.
I'm gonna
You
leave
so
it.
crazy. You a crazy little girl. She's so cute. She's like, what about me? What about me? You want a boy
Switch over to
doing
restream and leave where I'm at. I like that little feature.
right? Did you like that? Like just
I
pop
love
a
it.
person up. Yeah, right? I know. I got something now, Miss Pettis. I mean Miss Branch. I have a client last name Pettis. So every time I see Pettis Branch, I want to call her Miss Pettis. But yep. I don't know if you out there, Miss Pettis. So I'm thinking about you. I appreciate you, Miss Branch, indeed. But so with our mortgages, I think that before we really make a move, we should talk it through because I have so many people will say, "Oh, my friend, they're get paying off all their credit cards by refinancing their house, and they don't even know what they're doing. They really have no idea that they're it's putting all that credit card non-collateralized debt onto their collateral. So you're hurting yourself when you take that personal debt and you're putting it onto your home. When it comes down to it, I think we should go out of our way to protect your home. Why? I mean, and be very careful when we take our equity out of the home and put it onto something else.
Well,
No.
what that is that people look at the money as money that's
Mm,
available,
mm,
not realizing the critical nature of that money.
that's right.
It's totally different from just plain old money. It's
That's
not just
right.
a savings account.
And how much that's costing you over the life of that loan. What you've done and the fees that are involved, and when you do that whole refinancing and things like it's no, and the interest rates. I mean, people are getting out of low interest rate mortgages, refinancing the entire loan. There's a lot of lenders don't want to do seconds. So if you need 30, 50, 100,000, they're making you refinance the whole thing when you only need it, you know what I'm saying? A little bit. You just wanted, you only really, you didn't really need. We got to really evaluate what we really need, right, Miss Lewis? Really, I think that a lot of times, what are the stories that we're telling ourselves? What are the stories that we're telling ourselves? What are the stories that we're telling ourselves about, the system? Like, so many people like don't think that they have options on almost anything. And then so many people justify a lie because of a story you're saying inside yourself to yourself. Like, if Miss Mosby had to have a conversation with me, she would be very irritated because it contradicts the story that she's told herself, that I'm the only one. They're only doing this to me. She don't want to hear me tell her, well, girl, you know what? There was like 100 people at Philip Morris. She don't want to hear that. She won't hear that because that ain't her. Like, she's not average. I'm special. It wasn't the same. Anything different, like we don't want to hear. So what stories are we telling ourselves that are not serving us? That aren't serving us. You know, I remember like getting no a speeding ticket, and God said go in there and take responsibility. I think I told some of you about this before. Like, so when I went into court and I came up there, and the judge said, young lady, what happened? And I said, sir, I lay myself at the mercy of the court. And he started laughing. He was like, I said, I was I was I was speeding. I was rushing. I was wrong. And this officer right here probably saved my life. I don't know what could have happened if I kept speeding like that. I didn't say he's wrong. What's wrong with his stuff? Like, what I'm saying? If my mother, boy, if the police pulled her over for speed, she would get so mad. And why and how I'm like the way I am, like I take responsibility. I was wrong, sir. This and this and that. I don't know where I got it from because I'm telling you, she did not raise me to do that. It's like she was like, she is Bonnie Willis and that girl all day long is supposed to be. I don't know what's wrong with this cop. I was not. And you better agree with it. Look, Judge, there's something wrong with this guy. His thing is broken or something. Because I was not. And when I went in there, and I guess I didn't know, like the judge probably listens to liars all day long. And he said, I bet you weren't going as fast as you thought you were. I'm going to bring that down. I'm gonna bring it down to blah blah blah, whatever. I was ready to take it, whatever it was. I'm gonna take, whatever. He said, yeah. He brought it down to maybe it was like over 10 miles over. It could have been like over 20 over the speed limit. I don't know, but I think that once people start taking responsibility for their behavior, or we start setting an example, like, of that, of what I feel is appropriate behavior, being responsible. It's not like I'm not saying that when you didn't do it, you don't say you didn't do it, because when I didn't do it, I'm just as adamant about when I didn't do it. You know, but you gotta have truth on your side. And when you're wrong, you're wrong. So I think that's why it's very important that we have the right advisors in our life, as she said, like that she when she went to, her accountant, she said that he said, like, but look, what about Wesley Snipes? He listened to his accountant too, and they gave him time. They didn't give the accountant any time. And so she said, she told me she said the accountant told her that, that this is okay. And the mortgage loan officer, she said, told her this is the right way to do it. But you having this advanced degrees that you have, I just don't think that we can do that. That we can just say, yeah, you know, they told me and then that's why I did it. Not on something that simple when it's right there for you. Did you get any money from someone else, this and this? Yeah, this is who it was, blah, blah, blah. Like, I don't know about that one. That we're saying that, um she had that right. That's just the mortgage loan officer. I would hope, I don't want anybody at home, if somebody asks you to sign something and lie, because they're just as responsible because they did get compensation from that. So that's going to be addressed, the person in that industry, and they'll probably lose their job. And mortgage people now have licenses that will be addressed. Mm. But I don't know how she would prove, or they would prove, that they actually knew that she gave the money to her husband, because that would be hearsay, I guess. Mm. What did God say? It's an irrelevant question. We must always consult God in any major decision, really any decision. All right, Kanika?
That's right.
Mm. I know. Look, Ms. Lewis says she's paying her taxes off the top. Yeah, we got to. We got to. It just don't feel like, I don't know, like, that. So let me go back and so we can close out our mortgage stuff. So I wanted to, I also saw a story. It came out, Wells Fargo is backing out of the mortgage market. Again, lots of major banks are moving away just because of the reserve that is required for every loan that you have. That's become a problem. They basically have like a loan default requirement, or any lenders. There's also Freddie Mac is moving into doing second mortgages. Now, I saw a report on that I think it's going towards Congress any day now, that allowing them to do second mortgages, and a lot of that is because of banks not wanting to do any of those secondary mortgages anymore. So you can start, like, if that goes through, you gotta have a whole, like, new push of second mortgages and equity lines, and they want your equity. They want it, and it's up to, what I mean, it's up to you to give it to them. No, if you want to buy more, it's going to start being easier. The government is really in the lending business, and I think we're really sleeping on that. But no, there's every incentive in the world for the government with the Fannie Mae and the Freddie Mac, and that for you, um, and there's VA loans, and that all the government does the major part of the lending or backing loans, in the whole country.
But we must beware of debt slavery
Mm, yep, and
because we're
it is
going to
a
pay.
big issue. Not a big issue. People just working their whole life. As I shared on one of our Wednesday nights, I was talking about how many people in their 80s that still have mortgage debt. Like, so we have to, think like, and if you have, the income, if it's cool, but it's the maintenance of it that becomes very expensive, especially generally when the house gets paid off, you don't have a mortgage anymore. Then all of a sudden it needs a roof, or it needs floors, or it needs, it's upgraded in general, our electrical system is down. Like, that can really become expensive. Insuring the house has become very expensive. Property taxes have gone up dramatically. So it's like, okay, the house is paid off, but you still could spend as much as a huge mortgage on just maintaining the house. Hard to imagine, isn't it, Wida? Hard
Yes.
to imagine. Yep. And but I would say that if these inflation numbers, especially if we get another report that says, inflation numbers look lower, we should expect the mortgage rates, to start coming down. Will they ever be at like 3% and below again? I don't know. But yes. But can't we roll our homes into a trust, or even before that, secure a money printer like a laundromat? That has so many layers to it. But so many people are rolling their home into a trust. And for most of the people, it's a horrible idea. Horrible, horrible idea. I really want all of our members, before you spend the money on the trust, and definitely before you put your home in a trust, you start talking to me about what you think you're doing. Because I see so many people doing that. And in many of the situations, you're just making it harder for your legacy, and making it a lot easier for other people to make money off your assets. So we have to be really, really careful on, what we do just because they're pushing it down our throat. You're going to see that with a lot of stuff. And I think that we should stop thinking about what can I do to make money easily, and start focusing more on what can I do to increase my wealth that I have right now. No, we just want, and a big part of it is just starting to be disciplined, more intentional about the things that you do with your money. And more thoughtful about it, more mindful, including, um, me in the decisions as you're going through. Because to talk about to me about it after you do something, it could be thousands of dollars too late. And believe you me, when you're a member, everything I'm doing is in your best interest. Discipline, amen. This branch, discipline is key for so much in life, but so much in, just because when you're going through a crisis, it's so good to try to get the easy way out. No, and it's just so good. I remember this morning, I ran out of gas. I couldn't believe it. I was on the
Mm.
highway.
What?
I'm just pitiful. I
Oh,
don't.
you do car?
Yeah.
Stop it.
I was just driving. I don't even remember the last time I filled up. I don't remember the last time I went to get gas. That's what was so scary about it. I was like, when is the last time I got gas?
It's big.
I can't remember.
You mean
So
to
I'm
tell me didn't a bell or whistle or something go
I
off to
know,
tell you ding,
I
ding, ding,
know,
ding?
I know. Not until it was empty. And it didn't ding ding. It just said, it just came up on the screen that said, you have no gas. But it kept moving. So I kept moving. I was almost to my exit. And then I got off the highway, but the light was red. So I had to sit there and pause. And that's what messed me up. I almost made it to the Wawa's. It was terrible. I know, Ms. Lewis, it was terrible. So I get there. Oh my goodness. There's no easy way out. No easy way out. So I get there and I thought, I thought, I said, yeah, if I was still on the bus, if I was
Mm.
taking Uber, I wouldn't have to worry about these things. If that bus I rode by, I probably would have left my car and just ran off. Cars should self-serve themselves. And so after a while, like it comes up and it goes, oh, this is the service center. You know what I mean? It pops up on the screen. And then so I hit it and it says like you are this is a computer service and and it just didn't work. So I just hung up on that. So then I looked in the glove compartment. I looked like, did the warranty include any roadside assistance?
Roadside
So it
assistance.
was like, so then I called that and they said like a 90 to 100. I had a meeting. It was like 90 minutes, 90 to 120 minutes or something. So then
Hour and a half. That's all.
No, 90, but then it said to 100, like to 2 hours, it's an hour and a half to 2 hours, whatever. So then the police came up, and then and let's see, the police know that I appreciate them and I love them. That's why they're good to me. See, that's what you have to like work with that story. Because I'm telling you, whenever a cop comes to me, remember that night you were on the phone and they pulled me over, Miss Davis,
Hmm.
and I was
Yep.
like, I just like think, okay, they came to help me. They came to help me. These people are not so that I had my hazards on, and then the driver said, "Did it break down?" You know what I'm saying? And I was like, I started crying. I started tears. I was so mad. Tears were just running down my face. The man was like, "Oh my god!" And I couldn't get the words out. Couldn't get the words out. And I said, "Gas." That was all I could say was gas. And he said, "Oh, you ran out of gas." I was like, "Yeah." And he was like, "Oh, my boss, my sergeant will be here soon. Blah blah blah. We'll figure it out." And I was like, then I kind of calmed down, but I couldn't believe that. I have never done that in my life. Like just shut down like that. I could not talk. I didn't even know I was like that mad about it. I was just like, it just started tearing. And I was like, I don't know, just mad, just mad. But I had to take accountability for I did not get the gas. And I had to say it. Like I could have said, like, well, I don't know what's wrong with it. I don't know what's wrong with this car. This is what what they put up here. It's empty. Empty. What is it with me and getting gas? I do not know. I ran out of gas on my motorcycle before. What is up? And then so we went, boom, but so the other police officer took me. It's my first time riding in a police car today. And I got in the back of the car, Kanika, and I should have. I know he was like, she probably the first one that didn't do a selfie. I'm in the back of the police car. I'm getting in the car. So and then I got it was $50 for 1 gallon container. And then you
Whoa.
still gotta buy, I mean, $20 for the 1 gallon container. Then you still gotta put the gas in it. But so it put $3 and the cop took me. I mean, I was literally 1 minute away from the Wawas. I got that close. And but I remember when I did that when Aziza was little and I pulled up and I got all the way to the 7-Eleven and I was on the wrong side. I just couldn't get to the right side. So I had to like I had to go in there. I think they sold the can and I had to fill the can and put some gas in it. And I had this great, huge luxury car back then. And the men, and that was in the hood too. And the men were like, no, that don't even look right. Like, what's this lady? I was running out of gas in that big car. It is what it is. I don't know. But I told the cop, I was like, I think it's because it's in a different spot. It's a new vehicle. And they were like, uh-huh. Yeah, sure. But it is, it's like, it's kind of a way. It's not where it should be. And I gotta like look down to see like you have no miles left. But it was like zero. But it started right up. I was really afraid that it wasn't going to start right up. It started right up. I was safe. But the it's about like facing it, facing it, facing it, and look, getting and using the resources available. So I was able to cancel that. That probably took like 30 minutes to get all that done. And then I was able to cancel that other hour and a half, 2 hours. So thank you to all the police officers out there for looking out for people.
You're
Because
welcome.
thank you. I didn't want to say it. I didn't say it as you said it. But I do think that we need to be on the lookout for aggressive lending that's going to be coming up, and know that we can talk these things through. Be very careful with your home equity, especially for y'all grown folk out there, got your house paid for. Be careful on what you have to do in order to get your house to where you need it to be. No. And that's what I'm there for. No. Yes. For people looking for a new house, it's probably hard for people that are trying to get their first house. But we have to be careful again with what we're expecting with the mortgage, and realize that there are a lot of different ways to make money. And so you do not have to go into mortgage debt in order to be rich in the future.
The
Your pur-
vultures are out there.
yeah, your purchase of your home should be for having affordable living. And we've never really been told that. We buy homes because we think it looks like you're successful and this and that. But we have to realize that's a huge amount of debt. No, and they never have first time homeowner meetings talking about, home ownership isn't for everyone, but it's the truth. There are a lot less expensive ways for a lot of people to live, and they're losing a lot of money by having that mortgage. So, just be very careful, and let's talk these things through before you do what everyone else is doing. That's not always what's best for you.
Even if 750 other people are doing it.
Even if 750 people in Baltimore are doing it, we can't keep up with them. Let them do it. And that's what happened. Yeah. Make sure it makes sense in every way, right? Make sure it makes dollars and cents. I was saying to someone the other day, your home purchase is not a tax deduction for most Americans. And most people, when they buy a house, they use that as a major selling point. Well, I get to write the interest off on my house. Like, do you really? Or are you actually taking the standard deduction? So, we really need to be conscious of, just because they're charging you extra to do that Schedule A to itemize, that doesn't mean you're being able to write those things off. The majority of Americans are taking their standard deduction because it's greater than their itemized deductions. Mm, yeah. Yes, affordable living, not trying to impress others anymore. And that's hard. That's hard. That is hard. I know it's hard. It is hard. But that's where we build character. And a lot of things would be different for a lot of people that God have put in front of us. You know what I'm saying? Like, we don't want to look like someone was talking about the situation. Oh, Minister Farrakhan, he was talking about the fifth situation with, I don't know if he was talking specifically about P. Diddy, but they were putting P. Diddy up in the split screen. And he was saying, like, acknowledge what people are going through and get the lesson in it. Get the lesson in this. That's why I'm sharing it. Not because I got nothing against her. And that's what we have to stop thinking. But if we don't break it down, when I saw that video when she was talking about those things, I was like, oh my goodness. Reverend Sharpton definitely needs to have a counter argument up there. See, so much of the stuff that we see is only one-sided discussions. There should have been someone that said, wait a minute, what are you saying? Are you saying that most of these people broke the law? And then it would have been a whole different discussion. Are you saying that the police, like, once you see you, like, do this, like, I mean, really? Do you really think that that's a fair thing to say? Like, that, like, we, like, really need to look deeper in what is presented to us and how it's presented and why is it presented. And I feel that it's my responsibility to present it. To say, like, wait a minute, there's another way of looking at this. There's a lesson in here. We shouldn't ignore this because us average folk that ain't so pretty, they gonna put us away. And ain't no 12 civil rights thing, you know what I mean, coming to stop it. So, don't do. Get the lesson in it. You can't do that. Mm. And our willingness to share. Yes, our willingness to share. Our willingness, yeah, to take that hit. To take that hit so that you can save someone else's life. I really feel that this discussion will save somebody else's life through saving their finances and saving their career and saving your marriage and saving your family. It's real. Thank you. Thank you. Yes, indeed. Y'all okay? Yeah. Any questions before we go? No. Interesting. It's AfroEconomics for real, Dr. Edlow. Too many don't have the desire to know the truth. So true. That's why we listen to and believe so much junk. So true. So true. We just, we accept what what feels good. We feel more comfortable, right? Being a victim. But I think that the big statement there is if you get the opportunity to be in the position of your oppressor, will you do better? Will you do better?
Good question.
Amen. We have to do better. We have to do better, y'all. We have to do better. Ms. Davis, we have to do better.
We have to do
You
better. I
know,
agree.
when we hear like, oh, two wrongs don't make it right and blah, blah, blah. Yeah, but do we really? Do we really? Like, we don't. We just don't. We just don't really feel it like we should. No, that it definitely doesn't. There will only be a few. Thank you, Tree 87. Oh, B71. Tree B71. Y'all just be thinking of some names. But listen and to believe. Believe in too much junk. We gotta want the truth. We gotta seek the truth. And then we got to be strong enough to accept it.
Amen.
No, the truth is, I ran out of gas. Mr. Johnson, you need to learn how to make me feel better.
You need to treat a half a tank like E.
I know. That is exactly what I told a client today. I said, they were saying, well, you know what? Oh, I think it was Coach. Coach was like, I fill up when I get to a quarter. I said, well, then that means I need to fill up at a half. He said, first of all, I need to
Quarter
locate
is
where
full
it
up.
is, but I
Quarter is
really should
full
not
up.
let it
Half a
get,
tank for you
you
going forward.
know,
Half a tank.
that I'm going to Brooklyn. I could have seen me. I could see me wake up on a Friday. I have to get to the airport, running late, and be on E. I'd be so mad. You know that feeling? Like, what in the world? That's
See, you cannot play with that fuel injection. You hear me?
what I thought too. I'm glad you said that because I was so glad when it started, but I was like, I could have jacked this vehicle up. Yeah,
Yes. Yes. Yeah.
yeah. Especially when I kept driving. I kept driving, and it said, "Do not drive the vehicle anymore." And I was like, I mean, it was down to like air, and it was like coasting. It was coasting.
Baby.
I was like, I gotta get to this Wawa. I gotta get to this Wawa. I didn't make it.
Baby. Don't do
Exactly. But
You
you
might
got
want to
to do
just, you know, kind of keep your gas can that you spent $20 for.
I
Don't
know,
put
No,
right?
gas
don't
in
even
it, but keep
I
it
suggest
took
in
it
that.
out.
the.
I took it out of
Yeah.
my truck. I was like,
A
you are
half
not
a tank,
going to be
a
needed.
half a tank
A
is your
half a tank
E,
is going to be my best bet.
and a gas tank in your car gonna make you smell like gas. Don't
Yeah,
even, Miss Sweet, I love
yeah.
you, but no, 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 no.
Exactly,
No,
exactly.
I'm
It
saying
does. It does.
the
That's what I was afraid of too,
Yeah, it's
driving
gonna
it.
tip over.
That it
Yeah,
would smell
not
like
not the
gas.
thing with the gas in it, but the
Just something you
empty
can fill it
thing.
up.
you know
Yeah,
what?
just what
But
Don't
wouldn't
it's
it be
totally
funny if
empty.
I end up with like six of them? Like, because I ran out, but I'm not. I'm not. But I'd be like sick just giving them out to people.
Yeah.
Do you need a gas? Are you out of gas? I have one of those.
no, JB, you don't. A half
No,
a
but
tank is your E, okay?
yes, you're right. That's a good rule. I gotta do it. But we gotta do it. Everybody makes mistakes, and we gotta accept it and learn from it. Look for the lesson in it. Like that's the lesson. Half a tank. Y'all should never hear from me again. Should never see me on the news. I'm in the back of the police car because they taking me to get gas. No more of that. I was like, oh man.
Baby.
Look, when something bad like that happens, you want to say, my mama died. My mama died. And you're like, just everything. You know what I'm saying? Like everything that you're feeling like just starts pouring out of you. And I'm like, you can't cry right now. You cannot go into mourning right now. You need gas.
Mm, 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 mm.
Move.
We are glad
Move.
you are
Uh,
okay and you backed
I
up and
know.
running.
Exactly. Exactly. But I was like, if you watch the car, I'm gonna run to Wawa. She's like, well, my supervisor is on the way. But if you really feel the need that you have to, just do something, he was so sweet. And then when I finished, the officer, he said, you know what? We should meet up and talk. I was like, okay, it's like, we should meet up and talk under better circumstances. That was so cute. Exactly. We will. Exactly. But I thought that was so sweet, though. I was like, till next time you run out, I am not. We'll be on the other side of town if I do. Amen. We are doing it. All right, Miss Lewis, right? We got to laugh at ourselves sometime. I appreciate y'all. Thank you so much. If you have any mortgage questions, we're gonna watch this market. Know that there's a lot less people out there that are gonna help you, or if they do help you, your loan is gonna get sold off real quick. The whole industry is changing. Everybody, watch your money. Be very careful. What you spend your money on and how you spend your time. But let's go. Let's dream big. Let's dream bigger. We can do so many things. Let's be amazing.
Facts.
All
Amazing.
right.
Love y'all. Be a
Fly like an eagle.
fly like an eagle, like the Arise channel. That is Reverend Bozeman's Arise on the what? What does
On
that
the
say?
wings of your mind.
Arise on the wings of your mind.
There's a lone wolf in you.
And the lone wolf firearm training. There he is. Uh-oh. 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 That's what I should have done. And you would have probably saved me. I should have got out of the car and the police were like, what are you doing?
I don't
I'm
know why you
calling
didn't
Lone
call. You
Wolf.
should call. I wish you would call me.
Lone Wolf is on the way. That the officer, he's so sweet. He would have been like, okay, I'm just gonna sit here and
I would have sent one of
how
my
long
wolf
do you
packs
think
to
you'll
you.
be? Exactly.
I could have sent one of my wolf packs to you.
That's right. I don't know. I don't know what I was thinking. I should have called. I should have just woo like done it back. I got it. I hope you would have heard it. You
Okay.
would have heard it. Y'all
Love you,
take care.
JB.
Love you
Love you,
more than
JB.
that. Love you, love you, love you, love y'all so much.
All
Thank
right.
you so much.
Guys, on Friday.
I really appreciate y'all
Bye.
taking the time out, discuss this topic. We pray that Marilyn Mosby, this works out for the betterment of her and her family. I really do. I really want her to do well, but I want you all to know that accountability is the way out and the way up.
Amen.
It's the way up. Yep. Y'all be good.
Be
Take
good.
care. All right.
Hey, ha. Yo, your man on. Amen on. Oh, yeah, big bad, yeah. Oh, yeah, big bad, yeah. You may not have food, yeah. Let me tell them how the thing goes. How the thing goes.
Right. Friday.
I should be good. I should land by 9 o'clock. I'll probably do it from the airport, but I'm gonna do it.
Okay. Right.
That's right. I love that song. You like that too? That's right. That's right. That's right. Uh-oh. 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 Woo! That's right.
Bye, JB.
Love it. Bye-bye. Have a good night.
All right.
I love it. That's great.